As I am sitting here farming so many coins to the point where my coin facilities right now are capped, and that just goes to show you guys how much I care about getting New Jersey on day one, because I'm willing to sacrifice coin efficiency and oil efficiency for the sake of trying to get her on the first day. That's how important it is for me to get her on the first day, though. I have my reasons. Don't ask why. I have 2 weeks to get her, Chemo. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about why I want to get her on the first day. You worry about your other stuff. Anyways, today's video, we're talking about the potential stuff that New Jersey has. Now, obviously, we have data mines coming out in probably about less than 24 hours from now, but I do want to talk about it because this is something I'm super excited about, because I'm interested in seeing what kind of kit that New Jersey can bring to the game. Yeah, we have the Coomer stuff, the waifu stuff and whatnot, but I'm very interested in seeing what kind of kit New Jersey has to bring, because in the trailer she has this little engine boost going on in the background. She has like this giant halo in her screenshot preview, whatever. She's basically God Gundam. God Gundam, in the sense that she has a little engine boost, the little ring around her back, and she's looking badass as fuck, just as God Gundam. So I expect to see her to be pretty insane. Not to mention in her description, she says that she's pretty OP as well. Now, how she's gonna be OP, who knows? But I expect her to be OP, just like it says in the Japanese description right here. Anyways, there's 4 things I want on the kit. Now, if she has any of these 2 things, I'm gonna be very happy. If she has at least one of these, it's kind of whatever. But if she has 2 of these, she's gonna be really busted. Anyways, let's get started. The first thing I want, this is probably the biggest one right here, because I feel like there's not enough of this to go around in the game, because obviously they want to keep numbers values down and they don't want power creep too much. Crit rate or even crit damage buff. And the reason why is because crit rate is something you don't get a lot of in this game. As of right now, there's only a few ways to stack crit. You have your black shells, you have your soulful warriors lines on your cats. It adds up to about 14%, an 8%, a 3%, and a 3%. So about 14% total. Now that's not a lot, but if we have more crit buff, then now we can get stuff going. Now obviously there's some ships that give crit buff, like Bismarck gives 20%. Champagne and FDG gives 20% to themselves, but we need more of that. We need more crit rate, because crit rate right now could be really good for for backlines. Because imagine the big numbers you can get if you were to crit consistently. But crit is so rare right now, and it's really RNG dependent, and getting crits are super important in some of the big fights or whatever, the big content in the game, like EX, or not big content, people don't even do that stuff, but getting big crits though is nice to see. It's nice to see. So I want to see a crit damage or a crit rate buff on New Jersey. If she can provide any of that, that will be absolutely amazing, because that's gonna, honestly, if she has that buff, she solidifies her slot in my team probably forever. If she has a crit rate and a crit damage buff, that's a 100% slot in right there, and I'm not even gonna doubt that. The second thing I want is some kind of a salvo reset. So I think a lot of people here, or I hope some people here, played like some kind of MOBA game. Not mobile game, of course we play mobile games. Mobile game where we have like League of Legends stuff, where if you kill something or you kill something, you get a reset on your skill, right? Kind of like what I want here. I want to make it so like if you kill like maybe 3 ships, it resets your salvos. Now obviously this is kind of broken, right? If you're gonna keep killing 3 enemies, if you keep shelling out, obviously, so make it like, I don't know, 1 or 2 times per fight, because that sounds pretty good. Because you can reset your cooldown ASAP. So it's kind of like a preload, but it doesn't happen like right away. It happens like after like 20 seconds in a fight. So it's like a scuffed preload, but at the same time it can be really good, because usually when it comes to mob phases, the big mobs or whatever, like the stronger mobs, spawn near the end. So by having the salvo reset in the end or whatever, it makes it so you get more value out of it, rather than everyone just blowing their blowing their like airstrikes or preload salvos right off the bat, and then basically hitting like 2 mobs, and that's pretty much it. Not a fan of that. I want them to make it so it has like a reset, just one time. One time in a battle is fine. Obviously this is not gonna work for like boss fights where like there's no mobs at all, but for mobbing though, it gives her more versatility to rather than just be like a simple preload ship or whatnot. So I want that. The third thing right here, this is something, honestly, if it wasn't for crit rate or crit damage buff, I want this as well here. Percentage bonus damage added onto salvos. Now what I mean by this is like, or a fixed damage amount, that works as well. So let's say New Jersey hits for 12,000 with her shell. Now after 12,000, she gets a bonus damage added onto that. So what I mean by this is make it so it's like, I don't know, maybe like 1 or 2% of the boss's health. So most bosses in this game, I believe they have about 250,000 health or something like that. I think that's right. I'm not even sure anymore. I think that's wrong. No. It sounds about right. About let's say they have about 250,000 health. So about 2% of that is like what? 5,000 extra damage. Honestly, that sounds kind of broken. Okay, so maybe not percentage health. Okay, maybe 1%. 1% would be 2.5k extra damage. That'd be pretty good. Like per salvos or whatever, or per shell. That sounds kind of broken. So percentage damage, maybe like a fixed damage. Okay, let's talk fixed damage. So say an extra 1,000 or 1,500 damage added onto every shell that hits. Now that's gonna sound broken, obviously, because that's a lot of damage increase. But that sounds pretty good to me. Now you can add on to the whatever mabob on the percentage or whatever. But I think fixed damage would be a lot more safer. But it just makes it so like she does way more damage than she's supposed to be. But that's the way to break the game. Because if you guys don't know yet, percentage damage for most things or bonus damage adds things usually makes it so it breaks the game. I played many games before where bonus damage, especially percentage bonus damage, is extremely broken on whatever character or classes that you pick to play or whatever. Yeah, it's extremely broken. So even though it is broken, they could find ways to make it so it's like smaller values, like extra 1,000 damage, extra 2,000 damage per shell or something. It's gonna add up a lot. It's gonna be extremely broken. But I'm curious because this way it adds more versatility. Because if I have a percentage bonus damage added onto my salvos, it's not gonna force me to build all straight firepower as of right now. Like right now, the way I build battleships is primarily I just stack a lot of firepower and accuracy, and depending on the ships I want to use, maybe go a little bit faster on the gun, or if not, maybe a little bit slower. But if we have percentage bonus damage added onto every salvos or whatever, I'm probably gonna stack more reload, because more reload means I can get more out of stacking or get more out of the percentage bonus damage per shell than just stacking firepower, because I can spit more shots out. So I want to go more reload. I want that. This makes it so I can build ships differently. It's not just the same cookie cutter build where let's stack the Georgia gun and the Belfast gun and then the Stag Bofors and then the gold fire control radar and the white shell or whatever. Because that's cookie cutter for everyone. That's pretty much cookie cutter for every battleship in the game that can use those specific gear. That's cookie cutter for them. But if we have like a percentage bonus damage kit or whatever, all right, now we got more reload. Gold fire control radar can stay. A little faster of a gun. Probably change up the whole gun scenario to begin with. But just more reload stuff. I don't know how we're gonna slide in more reload stuff, but I'll find some way how to. Or maybe Hood can come back into action because now she provides a reload buff or whatever. Now we can do Hood and How and have reload buff spams in the backline or whatever. That sounds really fun. So I'm curious about that. But as a new playstyle, I'm curious. I want to do something like that. And the last one, this is probably a generic one right here. A barrage with an 80% proc rate that is screen wide. I want this primarily because it's not one of my biggest thing I want, but 80% makes it so it's not going to be completely super reliant on RNG. Because there's a lot of ships in this game like Georgia, Monarch, I guess Nagato maybe, the mainly used ones, where they're heavily dependent on proccing their barrages. Otherwise, the damage is not as super high. But if you have 80% proc rate, we're looking pretty good. As of right now, I believe the barrage standard proc rate is like 75%, so it's kind of getting up there. But for a UR ship, I expect at least 80% because any kind of RNG is just, I don't want to deal with it. And I want this to be screen wide because this makes it so she's not just a standard battleship. Like there's a lot of battleships in this game where it's like, okay, there's a 70% chance to barrage, you have a giant AoE, and that's pretty much it, right? Obviously, this barrage could hit like super hard because she's a UR ship. Who knows? But who knows? I want something that's more consistent. I want something that's overwhelmingly powerful. I don't want her just to be a straight up a standard battleship because if she is, that's not gonna be impressive to me at all, at all. Also, don't make it so she gives some kind of like anti-air buff or aviation buff like Prince of Wales. That was kind of whatever. Honestly, I like the preload buff on Prince of Wales, but because she doesn't buff battleships in the back line, she only buffs carriers. For USS, not that overwhelming. But Vanguard buff is kind of nice though. But USS Vanguard is kind of whatever. Yeah, not a fan of that. Anyways, that's my wish list for New Jersey. Obviously, we have data mines and stuff coming out in probably less than 30 hours from now. So we'll see then. But for the time being, because I'm super excited on what she could bring to the table, because I want her to bring something very unique, something innovative, kind of like what Shinano did for the carrier setups nowadays. She brought a lot of utility and whatnot to a team. She also has that little like passive procs for other fleets or whatever. If New Jersey has something like that, that'd be kind of really cool. Something like Tosa, but it's not like a water sprinkler that's like 0 damage, because Tosa sprinkler does like 0 damage. But if you have something like that, that'd be really cool as well. But I expect a lot from her kit. If we have crit damage or crit rate, I'm gonna be so happy, guys. I'm gonna let you guys know right now. If I see any sort of crit buff for like the main fleet or whatever, I'm sold. That's all I need to know. If I see any sort of crit damage buff or crit rate buff in the back line, she's slot in forever. She's never gonna get replaced. 100% slot in forever. Or if she doesn't have any kind of buff, we have percentage bonus damage on salvos. Ooh, that's gonna be super good. I'm gonna be very stoked on that. So that's the end of this video. Feel free to talk amongst yourself and what you're expecting from this event, because I know I'm super excited about what she has to bring. And I'll see you guys in about 2 days once the new stuff drops out. It's gonna be super crazy.